Hello down there. I just finished watching the Snow White live action remake, and now I'm leaving the parking lot on my way home. I wasn't going to see it initially because I'm beyond tired of live action remakes. I don't like them. I do not like green eggs and ham. And the only reason I decided to go see this one is because somehow there was a lot of hype for it, with people saying it's one of the best live action remakes ever made. Now that I've finished it, I can say I disagree. I apologize for the wacky camera angle here that looks like it's filming a dick pic, but I wanted to just give you my raw thoughts immediately after seeing it. I didn't really like it. I know there was a lot of controversy with the movie. Don't really know what it all was. I didn't pay too much attention. I know the star Rachel Zegler apparently had like some bad interviews or something, and Gal Gadot, people say, is like the worst actress of our generation. Couldn't tell you. All I know is I didn't like the movie. So setting aside the controversy with it, was the film good in its own right? Not to me, it wasn't. But I'm also not the target demographic anymore. I'm a fucking 30-year-old greaseball. The Snow White remake, it shares a little bit in common with the original, but it feels like it wanted to carve its own path. It's a little bit longer than the original, so it adds a little bit more. Not a ton, but it adds things that nobody gives a fuck about. And it really feels like there was two different visions for the film that ended up clashing. So they have the 7 dwarves, but they also have 7 bandits, which I don't get the point of. The only bandit that matters is the main one, Jonathan. Every other bandit, I don't think they even had a name. There was like one scene where they said one of their names, but you don't know who the fuck they're talking about because they have never mentioned any of them by name. I don't know why they're here. It feels like they're the remnants of what the original direction was for this remake. It feels like, at least that's my little fucking tinfoil condom conspiracy theory. It feels like the 7 bandits were supposed to replace the dwarves, but then they decided not to do that. So now you have the 7 bandits and the 7 dwarves, and it just doesn't mesh well at all. Really, most of the movie I don't think meshes super well. There's a lot of new songs in it that I didn't recognize from the original, and I thought they blew ass. I wasn't a fan. But there was a couple songs that I recognized from the original, and they were fine. Those were kind of fun. Like the classic Hi Ho. That was kind of sweet. Truthfully, I just don't have a whole lot to say about the movie, because it is absolutely just not for me. Also, I feel like I'm shouting at the phone screen right now, like I got headphones on. But, you know, it is what it is. It's just, I really feel like I'm at this point shaking my fist at the clouds. I don't see why you'd ever choose to watch this over the original. Like, it's not a bad movie, really. Like, it's not even terrible. I think there's things about it that don't really work for me personally. Like, but it's not for me. I'm not a 6-year-old. But, like, when I'm watching this and remembering the original, like the poison apple in the original, for example, big deal. Like an actual huge piece of the original. In this one, it's nothing. It is beyond nothing. So, like, the evil... So when Snow White gets the poison apple by Gal Gadot, she takes a bite and then she gets the sleeping death. Well, she only stays sleeping dead for like 10 minutes. It was a sleeping snooze. Like, she actually just took a nap because she was only in that state for 2 scenes, and then Jonathan came up and gave her a kiss. And then she was immediately freed from it. So, like, there's never, like, it doesn't even feel like there's ever anything at stake. It doesn't even feel like serious. It's crazy to say this, but it feels like it moves so fucking fast despite being longer than the original, and yet offers less reasons to get invested, if that makes sense. Like, I shit you not, she gets the fucking poison apple, she falls asleep with Gal Gadot laying down all the evil stuff she's done. The dwarves come up and they're like, oh, jinkies. So then they hold like a fucking Viking burial, kind of. They put her on a rock and they're like lamenting that she's shed the mortal coil. And like it switches to the other scene with Jonathan, who breaks out of the castle, and then he immediately shows up and they're still there, like over her body, her corpse. So I think it's really only been like 5 minutes. They haven't even begun the funeral, and Jonathan shows up, kisses her, and she's fine. So like it never really feels like anything's a big deal. So you're kind of just there to enjoy the music more so than anything, which I wasn't liking. And to be honest, while it's just me and you here, I walked out of the movie. And I'm kind of embarrassed to say that because I never walk out of movies. And this movie, like I said, isn't even like the worst movie I've ever seen or anything. It's not even the worst live action remake I've seen. But I walked out with like the last 15 minutes because I was just so fucking bored. I really was just really in a trance, like a fugue state, and I was ready to leave. So I did. Maybe the ending really saves it. Maybe the ending ties it all together with an absolute masterpiece, but I doubt it. Now, as someone who starred in the Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1, I feel qualified to opine on acting performances, and I would say it was fine overall. Like, I actually think Rachel Zegler did a good job as Snow White. Like, she didn't do anything like crazy. It wasn't, some kind of Oscar-worthy performance, but I thought it was really just fine. Gal Gadot, on the other hand, I do not think was the right choice for this role. It feels like she wanted to go like over the top and like ham it up, but was a little reserved. Like didn't really commit to going crazy with it. And then it just kind of peters in this really bad purgatory of just being flat. Like she's never over the top enough that it becomes charming and like Disney villain-like, but it's also not played seriously enough to the point where you like take her seriously. So she's just kind of dull. And everyone else around them, they don't have a big enough role to play for me to give a fuck to even talk about their performances. I guess except for maybe Jonathan. But Jonathan, he just had to be in love with Snow White immediately, and that's kind of it. So he didn't really get a whole lot to do besides that. Anyway, though, that's kind of my review of Snow White live action 2025. I didn't like it very much, but I imagine if you're 6 years old or you just really like Disney live action remakes, you'll probably be pretty satisfied with the film, I think, most likely. Yeah, that's really about it. I'm driving right now, and I don't like to take my eyes off the road, so when I get to the next red light, I'll stop the recording. Hopefully you're having a good day. My day's really alright. Haven't done too much today except go see that movie. I guess I don't regret seeing it. I guess it was worth giving it a try. And now I know for sure. Probably done with live action remakes, you know what I mean?